So you guys actually do a really good job of breaking out here. The pass ends up skipping over Nate's stick, but it's actually you guys have really good spacing here. Everyone's in the right position. Um, we end up right. It's a little too far. Sorry, it's a little too far ahead of Nate's stick, but it's the right idea. Everyone's this is perfect. Really good spacing. You guys are all in the right spot, right? Okay. This is another important thing I wanted for neutral zone. Neutral zone tactics. If you don't have the speed and you don't have the feet, right? You got to give it to your guys who are moving quicker because we've gotten caught sometimes in neutral zone and had some turnovers where guys trying to carry it, he's not going as fast, and these guys got to wait up, and then or maybe there's a collision or there's too late of a pass. Colin recognizes here, does a really good job. Okay, I'm not moving with speed right now, but Nate is. Let me just dish it to him. It's an easy zone entry, right? What I don't like about this zone entry is we should be going wide when you see that these two guys are, so these dots, right? In between, when they're in between the two dots and they're very narrow and their gap is very narrow, why would we skate right into it, right? We don't want to do that because you're going to end up in order to generate a chance, right? We end up shooting from all the way out there, which is an easy save. We don't want to do that, right? We want to make sure that if you are going to do this, you're going to go wide. You're going to try to attack wide. You can still take on this defender, right? Sure, if you want to go at him, take him on, but go attack him with speed, and your intention is to go wide, right? Because you have Adam driving, and you got Maddie who's going to be in the slot to potentially get that pass or get any rebounds, just like Adam would potentially get any rebounds. There's so many options that could come out of here. If you guys are thinking, let me not rush the shot and rush the shot or just get a shot on net just to have one, right? Just to have a shot. We shoot from here. Sorry to break it to you guys, but it's very rare that you guys are scoring from just above the blue line with just a simple wrist shot. You guys are not 9 anymore. That's not going to happen. And if it does, then good job. I'll send you guys $5 next game. So we want to make sure when we are doing a zone entry that we have like some sort of plan. We have an idea of what we want to do, right? So we know when we have an odd man rush. One guy drive the net, one guy stay in the slot. The guy who's the puck carrier, either go wide as soon as you enter the zone, or if you want to take on the defender, take him on and then go wide. You just want to be able to look at all this space, right? Like you skate when you guys do this, you're skating right into the pressure. Like what for, right? Just making your life harder. Maybe there's a play where if you guys make it where Adam is cutting off this defender here, all of a sudden there's some space that's opening up here. Nate still has the puck. He ends up going wide anyways, just on that side, and then that gives Matty a little bit more time, and he goes in the slot anyways. Regardless, you're going wide, right? So let's not skate into the pressure, skate into the space, attack the space, and not rush anything, right? You want to be intense when you're carrying the puck, and you want to move with speed. But when I say rush anything, you don't want to just make a decision because you're nervous or you don't know what to do, so just throw it at the puck, throw it at the net, or just throw it somewhere, right? You want to be intentional with everything we're doing. So biggest thing in the ozone, I think, where we are continuously missing opportunities is when we have the ozone entry and we've entered into the zone, we just keep getting rid of the pucks, guys. It's killing us. We have one right here, right? What is the purpose of shooting it from here on the goal line? What are we thinking when we're doing this? I think that we're just fearful of potentially losing the puck, but guys, hockey's a constant battle. You're gonna be shedding bodies. You're gonna feel guys pressuring you pretty much like the whole game or most of the game. So you got to be able to not be fearful when that happens and think to yourself, okay, I got the puck. I don't know who's where on the ice, but that's why communication is so important. That's why, you know, being able to have a couple strategies in your back pocket is okay. Where am I on the ice? I'm in the corner. Um, you know, maybe I stay in the corner, wait for some support, or I try to skate around the net, or I'm going to try to skate up the wall because I'm going to try to start cycling, and then Marco is going to go lower. He says cycle, or maybe you cut up the ice, and then this is like wide open, which is obviously you can't see this because so it's on you guys to you two to communicate, but like as the puck here, when you get the puck you can't just be thinking, okay, let me get rid of it, right? I don't know what is like what you guys are thinking when this is happening, but um, we can't keep getting rid of it. It's killing us. Because if you do turn up ice potentially, um, maybe you turn up ice this way. Maybe you leave it in the corner. Maybe Marco comes to help support you, but if you're able to somehow get your eyes and your body facing the other way towards your two guys, you would see that they're basically wide open. This is not your fault, Xavier. I'm not expecting you to make a miracle pass. However, we are expecting you to not just get rid of the puck as soon as the second you have it on your stick, especially on the goal line. No, none of us want that. So for example, if worst case scenario, if you had the puck and you just went into the corner and they pinned you to the wall and it stayed there and we had our two guys coming to help, or one guy coming to help, one guy, just waiting to see if the puck squeaks out. That's honestly way, 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 way better. And that's the worst case scenario in terms of generating offense. That is way better than this, than just getting rid of the puck. Okay, we do it because we work so hard to get it. They just turned it over. Let's take advantage of this turnover, and instead we turn it over again, right? So their turnovers washed. It's a wash. We turn over, they turn over. The difference is actually they're both unforced errors, but we want to take advantage of their unforced errors. They just made to be honest, a shit pass. Right? So this guy, he has the puck and he just makes a bad pass. So let's take advantage of that, right? Let's take advantage of their mistakes. So they make a mistake. Let's take advantage of it. Let's keep the puck. Let's start putting the pressure on them, right? And then, but instead we give it away. So do you guys see how that could just like a one shift could change momentum, right? One shift could change momentum. That leads to another shift. All of a sudden, we have so much momentum, we score. Like all these little things add up to big things. Right? Okay, so we end up getting it back in. Okay, Adams does a good job here. He stops, button hooks, right? Sees Xavier's not really open. Makes a great move here on the wall. Okay, we got the puck in the same corner, right? Okay, you actually have more time than Xavier did, right? On the same shift, we have more time. Okay, Marco could sneak down there for a pass. We never want to plant ourselves in front of the net, guys. Like, especially if it's not a clear, like this is not a clear opportunity, right? No shots coming from the point. I get it, you guys are setting up for a pass here, but we want to get open for our guys. Even then, this is it's okay. Their positioning is okay, but the worst part again is just giving it away. We're not looking. We sent the backhand 4 feet high. That's not a real pass, right? Like we can't just be giving it away. This is not looking, right? Puck comes here. What are we doing? We got the puck, and we're not taking a look. We're still on our backhand, right? It's easier to make a pass on your forehand than your backhand, right? Why not? When you get the puck here, turn back up, right? Get on your forehand. You have no pressure on you. We have to look, guys. You have to get into the habit of taking an extra, just a peek, just a little peek. Make the pass on your forehand. If you had the pass on your forehand, everyone's in position. We would see that Marco's covered. maybe could you feed a pass into Xavier for a one-timer and Marco's screening in front, or Marco's there as a body. Maybe he gets a jams and a rebound. Maybe it deflects off of him, off of his freaking elbow and in. Who knows? Um, so we just gotta get into the habit of not turning the puck or just giving the puck away. Sorry, we end up being lucky and potentially having an opportunity, but that's not a great opportunity. We want to give ourselves great opportunities. See, like maybe you do a quick turn, get on your forehand, all of a sudden you could feed a pass in between the guys, stick and skates right to Xavier, one timer. Why not? Why can't we do that? Or maybe you come up the wall, this guy starts pinching, then we have our D open, and then maybe this guy's too deep, it goes D to Adam. We have a couple bodies in net. Like, there's so many more opportunities that we could have. Giving it away is the worst scenario, guys. Just do not just throw the puck away. We gotta stop. So we went again. This is something we went over already in the film review session yesterday, but we know, guys, we've practiced power play quite a bit. It is never practiced that we just take as soon as we get into the zone, we take a shot. It's never practiced. We never practice that. We have the extra men on the power play. We have an advantage. You have one extra guy. Let's try to pass it around, make a play happen, move the puck, right? So we get the puck here, and it's just a quick shot. We don't need to shoot it right away. We want to move the puck. And this is this is Jaden on the screen. However, this is not just him. It's everyone. Everyone who's on the power play, and who gets power play time. We got to make sure we're moving the puck. If you have a golden opportunity, and it's passed around, obviously this is the best area to shoot from. But maybe Jaden, you pick it up off the wall on your forehand on this side or on this side, and you're able to turn and shoot. This is just, we never want to just, as soon as we got possession, okay, let's shoot. Let's just rip it. Unless it's, in a great area. This is not a great area. We end up shooting it, right? Flex off the guy. Jack, we mentioned this to you, at the session. But look how much time and space, guys. We gotta look. Get into the habit of just a peek. You're not gonna lose the puck. No one's going to come kill you. You're not going to get hurt. Nothing bad is going to happen, I promise. Just take a half second. Just a quick peek. Right? So if you take, attack what? Time and space. All of a sudden now, if you start attacking this space, Remy could jump in here. Then there's Jaden over here. So you have potentially two opportunities. You start skating here. There's Jaden here. Maybe he passes it to Remy that's streaking in. Maybe he takes a nice rip because this is a perfect opportunity. Xavier squeaks to the front. There's so many options. We just got to take the space, right? Maybe he doesn't even pass it to any of those options. Maybe he just turns around. He sees what you get. Like, if you're on the wall like this, he turns, right? He starts turning to this way. Maybe he realizes this point man's open, okay? Like, there's so many opportunities, but we got to look. And especially because we're on the power play, they are more hesitant to actually put pressure on you because they don't want to get caught and have numbers in a bad spot, and then potentially they score, we score, right? So we don't want to do this 5-on-5, and we 1,000,000% don't want to do this on the power play. Okay. We want to maintain possessions for as long as possible, as much as possible. And when we do move the puck, we want it to be intentional, right? We don't want to just throw it because we're not looking. And guys, you'll see it in the Olympics if you've been watching the games. If that was intentional, right? If you're looking up and they're pressuring you, right? And they're pressuring you right here. This guy's on you. That guy's on you. This guy's on Jaden. You don't really have time. you take a look and you see that they're pressuring you, but then you have Remy with his stick up and he's signaling to you, and you rim it really hard, and then it's basically like a pass. And if that play happens, I'm not. This is not on the film review because I'm saying that's a good idea actually because it's done in the NHL. It's done on every level. That's a potentially a good pass, right? You have a lot of pressure. A lot of guys, a lot of the times, power plays do this, right? They just want to switch to where the puck is on the ice, so they just do a quick rim. But that's not what this was, right? So if you guys did that and you take a peek and you see that, sure. But we just got to stop being carefree with the puck and careless and just think, just get rid of it. Someone else will make a play, or I don't know what to do with it. Let me get rid of it. That's the wrong way of thinking. So the 1-2-2, it still applies when we're not quite in their zone. We're not quite fully forechecking, right? They have a lot of time and space. This is obviously we're making a change. I just want the F3 to recognize whether you come out late or whatever the case is. You see your two forwards on, especially that they're on one side. This is fine, right? Because you can't cover the whole ice, especially when we're in this type of scenario. We dumped it in. We're making a change. They have all the time and space. That's this. We just got to pressure them as best as we can in this particular scenario. So F3, even though we're not, all of us aren't in, within the blue line, and it's not the typical forecheck that we've been reviewing. This is more of like a basically like high these high ozone neutral zone ish forecheck. We want to make sure that everyone has good spacing. Nate's got his guy. Maddie's taking a really good angle. Okay. So Colin, when you end up coming in a little bit later on the screen, but you end up coming in over here. So we don't want that because who's got the middle? So just like we want F3 to be in the middle always, so you got to recognize whoever it is, even if you're coming off from a line change, you got to recognize, okay, just because left wing, right wing, when we're playing defense, especially when we're forechecking, it's just F1, F2, F3, right? You guys will get to your positions. Everyone's defensive position. We should all know how to play each other's positions because we all know what we need to do on the ice. So sometimes you will get caught out of position, and to be able to play sound defense is important. But when we're forechecking, it's F1, F2, F3, right? So you got to recognize that someone's got to be in the middle because these guys are doing their job. These guys are doing their job. Um, Nate's a good distance. If that guy passes, Maddie's angling in the correct way. Okay, defense are in good position, but who's covering this area, right? This whole area needs to be covered. And where does it go? Right in that area. We're lucky. We're lucky that he missed that pass. If he gets that pass in stride, this might be a breakaway, right? So that's why it's important that as F3, it's important that you are covering that center of the ice because you're here, right? All of a sudden, that's wide open. That could have very easily been a breakaway, right? Okay, he was tired. He was getting off. He might have dumped it in, but you guys get the point. So on the 1-2-2, it's important that we, try to attack and be aggressive before they try to go D to D and reverse the play, because that is obviously the weakness in a 1-2-2. We can still defend it, but it's very, very important. You guys will see here why it is important that the guys who are trying to fill in once it goes D to D and they're trying to become the F2 and F3, as the prior F3 becomes F1 is attacking the puck. It's important you guys get on your horse really quickly, have quick feet, and boogie to the spot you got to get to. So we'll see here. Okay, they go D to D, right? So as they're going D to D, it's important that so we got Colin here. He's going right to the puck carrier. This is exactly what we want. He was the F3. He recognizes now. Okay, they switched. It's my turn. I'm going there. Perfect. So now Nate is F2. You got a boogie to top of the face-off circle area. Okay, and Maddie here. You got to go right to the F3 spot, and you guys got to go there quick, no hesitation, because you're relying on Colin to provide some sort of resistance, and hopefully ideally get the puck off. If not, provide resistance to this puck carrier, right? And then F2, if you're boogieing there to the top of the circle, if Colin misses, or if this case if the F1 misses, then you're there for support and you're there to cover this guy in case you're just causing pressure on the puck carrier, right? If he decides to go to the winger, that ends up being your guy. And then F3, when you boogie to the top in the middle where you're supposed to be, then you're covering this guy, right? And then all the passing lanes are very disrupted, makes the defensive lives easier, everyone's good. But what ends up happening here, right? So he gets around him, that's fine. You're trying to stop him. If you can't, it is what it is. But F2, you got to stay on him. You got to be there quick and then be on him. And Maddie here, you got to be booking it, right? Can't be watching the play. And you can't. So you made a stick check, but you got to stay on him, right? If you're back checking, you got to stay on him. You can't leave him. And then up scoring. So defense, we could be a bit more aggressive there, but all in all, we want to make sure that when the puck does get reversed, that we're getting to our spots and quick. Getting to our spots quick, no hesitation, and make sure you're back checking like hell. So here we gotta stop just giving the puck away, guys. It's killing us. Okay, we don't want anyone dangling. A blue line. Both blue lines are super important because if it's in the defensive zone, and we're trying to dangle at the blue line, that's one move away from getting out of our zone versus it staying in our zone too long. And then likewise at the blue line here, we can enter the zone. We didn't do anything stupid to lose the puck. So I think I'm understanding why you guys tried to just give you guys give the puck away, but we have to think about, especially when they're offensive zone, is okay. And your first thought has to be, where are my teammates? How much space do I have? How much space do I have? And where are my guys? So a pass like that, so we didn't scan, we didn't take a look, we didn't shoulder check, see who's behind us, anything. You got about probably 1 second, 1.5 seconds. Again, a lot of communication needs to happen from these two guys yelling. Maybe Marco is yelling corner, corner, and he's going there. I don't know if that's the case because of the way he stopped. But the same rule applies even if the puck gets lost. When we're on the 3-on-2, if a guy's driving wide, one guy drives the net, one guy stays in the slot. The reason being is that a play like this is not so bad if we have a guy driving the net, because then he could actually go pick up the puck and it's a smart play. However, I know that we're doing this because we continuously do this. We just get rid of the puck. So if you guys are driving the net and we have one guy driving the net, one guy in the slot, it's not a horrible play because Marco's going to be there, or at least he's closer. But I know that's what we're not doing. So this kind of play cannot happen. If we're all trying to find each other and find space, the puck here, it's important you do not just give the puck away, especially when we're not looking, right? Like you don't see anything, so it is important for your guys to give you a shout and let you know what's going on. So you guys got to all communicate between you three. However, you have to know as the puck carrier, okay, I got an extra, no one's going to hit you from behind, guys. There's no hitting. right? So there's no hitting. There's no need. You shouldn't feel scared of what's going to happen. Okay, but also this is a good example of that 1-2-2 coming into effect. I just want the F3 to be a little bit more aggressive here, and you'll see why. But whether it's a change of possession in the O zone, this type of forecheck is still does really well because everyone sort of breaks out the exact same way. So puck goes along the corner, no hesitation. See, you didn't even think, right? So the puck comes here. Okay, as soon as you see it, you go right away. Okay, you end up cutting it off. We get unlucky with in terms of possession, but it is what it is. You guys covered it pretty well. Okay, F3. As soon as you see that, so you have to think about it like this. So we want you to go there and be aggressive. We want you to attack too. You're that last line of defense if these two guys get beat. But also you want to make sure that you're angling properly, right? We talked about body positioning at the film review session yesterday as one of the most important things, right? Body positioning on offense and defense. So you want to make sure that you're leading them into your defender. You don't want them to have the time and space to go away, right? So instead of coming this way, you want to come this way so that you're taking a better angle because this guy, he wants to be away from obviously all of us. He wants to get away from us. So why not go this way? He thinks, okay, he's covering here. He's covering this area. I'm going to go this way. And then it leads it right to our defender and also our two back-checking wingers, right? As opposed to skating away from the puck. Now, you're not really defending him at all. This is the easiest pass to make, right? Which he does, and they're out. Versus when the puck does come out, okay, you take this approach. Then he has two options. He goes right into the defender. Maybe he chips it off the boards, but we're in position to stop that. Or he continues his route and he tries to go this way. But all of a sudden now, if you're taking this approach and with the second point of continuously moving our feet, all of a sudden now, you take that approach, he moves. If you're going this way still, you have the potential opportunity, if you continuously move your feet, to actually give him some resistance, lift his stick, get in between the puck and puck and the man, and maybe even take the puck away. But you're definitely stopping him from making such an easy pass, right? So that angle, you want to always lead them in. If you can, lead them into your other teammates and look where all the pressure is, right? So you don't want to ever turn like this. This turn is no good, no bueno, right? We don't want that. If anything, angle him that you're forcing him to make a bad decision to try to keep the puck too long, so you could then put some pressure on him, or he ends up going this way and it's leading into Xavier back checking and Remy potentially giving him some pressure. So F3, you just got to be more aggressive and understanding of the situation. We want you to be aggressive, but there's obviously little nuances that matter when we are defending, and depending on where your guys are, where your defensemen are, and what's going on, that changes how you would defend it. In this case, you always want to make sure that you're angling in the correct way, and you don't want to be turning around. You want to skate at him and keep pressuring him, continuously moving your feet. So this is not an easy pass. We went over this one last night briefly towards the end, but I wanted to just make sure you guys were seeing this because this is a very, very good example of how the forecheck ideally is working out pretty perfectly, actually. Okay, so F1's attacking. We got F1 going. F2 is on the boards. He's waiting. Okay. So good, very aggressive. Cut him off. F3's waiting. The puck comes out loose. In this case, the puck carrier, there is no guy to pass to. We got good spacing here. This is not really an option for a pass. So your next two your other guys are right here. We're not going to ask any of you forwards to be aware of also these two defensemen to potentially break out. If it gets to that point, then good for them. They get out of the zone. Let's try to just play defense then at that point. So we cut it off. Okay, we're good. They panic with the puck. They get rid of it. We dump it back in. Okay, good play. Puck gets loose. We go for it again. Xavier, great line. Okay, for some reason, this guy doesn't make the pass. He wants to try to dangle. That's fine. Xavier, he goes around you, but you're still on him, right? Giving him some pressure. F2's there. We ideally don't want you to, glide. We want you to be moving your feet, right? Give him less time and space. You always want to be taking away time and space. So if you know that you need to be there anyway, right? So if you're on him or you're in this area a little bit quicker, maybe he fumbles it at a different area of the ice. However, still good positioning. Marco's being there. He's coming in this direction. See how if this guy had his head up, right? Let's just say he had his head up and he wanted to make a pass, and he's trying to see a couple steps ahead and thinking, okay, I can't pass here because this guy's gonna cover him. Where's my other option? Oh shit, my other option in the middle. But Marco's all of a sudden now blocking this, right? So he's clogging this lane. This is perfect. Okay. He tries to go up the wall. Great engagement. F2, F3. You're not being lazy and being over here and just waiting for the puck. It's perfect. You're up on the wall. Everyone's ready. Marco's jumping it as F3. Perfect. This is literally perfect. Okay. Keeps it in. Xavier, this is a great example of not just tossing it, right? We kind of have a habit of just, okay, in this moment, let's just throw it over there. All right. Or let's just throw it down the wall. Nope. It looks up for a quick second. Austin taking a peek. Gives it to Austin. Nice move. And we get an opportunity out of it. Just from having a fantastic forecheck for 30 seconds, maybe. All of a sudden, we generated one scoring chance off the hop. They couldn't get out. This is literally perfect. This is executed perfectly. Watch this over and over to see exactly how we want you guys to play this forecheck.